Okay, yeah, that was the first thing. Good morning, we're live.
Hi, I'm Maddy.
I'm Ryan. Welcome to Insomniacs in the Morning. I didn't sleep last night.
Yup. And you're still peppy enough to be singing to yourself.
Oh my god!
While I logged into Google Hangouts, Ryan was just singing a little
Let's
song to
just
himself.
share with the audience what's happening. I tell Maddy, I'm like, you need to like log in because I need to like fix the settings and stuff. So she did that, but I like didn't have it so I could hear her yet, and I closed the window. So
yeah,
she's sitting there, and I'm like,
he was in another tab basically. So I was sitting there in the window being like, "Hi, Ryan," but he couldn't hear me. And then he's just by himself, and he's like, "Ah!" And I'm like, "Ryan, can you hear me right now?" I thought that you were messing with me and that you were pretending that you. I don't even know what I thought.
Okay, but like it went on for like a few minutes at least, and I'm just like, oh, I'm making all these weird noises because I'm testing the mic and like, yeah, we'll go.
Well, you're
testing the mic.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Does it though?
No,
Anyway.
well, because normally when you test a mic, you're like, you know, from different angles, you're like test. I'm like, ooh.
Okay,
oh
well,
God. So I could check Facebook Messenger about it. He's like, I'm in here, and I was like, oh shit, have you been listening to me like make weird noises for like 5 minutes?
It was really cute. All right. Anyway, so I don't have anything going on this week to update you about in my personal life,
right? Like
yeah, you know. I mean, how many more times can I say that every week on this show?
Well, I know you're exhausted, and like this is one of those weeks where we've barely talked this week because you're like exhausted, right? Like you're just.
I don't even know what's going on with me. I feel like I've just been really out of it this week. Like I haven't even been doing that much more work than any other week. I don't know, man. I think I'm fading fast on all of this. Like I'm doing too many things and I'm just like,
yeah.
I don't know. I haven't even been myself.
Well,
so
okay.
Who is hosting this show? It's not
It's
a ghost. Okay.
I'm like so wacky right now.
I know.
Oh my God. Okay, so
well, you
legitimately you are busy because you've been recording that, and then of course what I don't think people realize is that like you still work for the Mary Sue, and even though you like have set hours, you're not done at like
this, but I still have a job.
Okay, but like it's not like you're done at 6, because if you're in the middle of writing an article, you got to keep going. So like,
or if like things aren't done, then I have to stick around until 7 sometimes.
Yeah, and then both you and I are working on the post-production stuff for GENO, which I know we always talk about, but this is like legitimately like
I did do some stuff for GENO this week because Wednesday I didn't have band practice, so for some reason I was like, I'm just gonna keep working.
I know it was a Tuesday night, and I was like
Wednesday, because Tuesday and Thursday I had band practice, and so Wednesday I was like, got a night off, better spend the entire night recording a GENO theme song.
That's what what it was for me too. Is like, well, I could play video games, but what I'm gonna do is sit here and edit GENO, and it's still, I mean, like as I said before, like I'm putting all the clips together and making sure it flows correctly before I add in like contrasting and like the sound effects and special effects, and Maddy's writing theme songs and like transitional music. It's a lot of work, but I can tell you right now from the footage I've been working on, it is super 90s. The sound of it is like, the music is super 90s, like the look of it is super 90s. So
it's
like
a lot like Space Cases, which we're going to talk about a little bit later on this show.
But that goal of trying to hit like
done, by the way, so people, you can't listen to it yet, it's not done, but
no, it's like the first draft. But
Ryan's been tweeting a bunch of in progress photos of editing,
right? And if you
you should follow us on Twitter and check out the Atomic Blue Productions account.
Yeah, on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, because I've been posting a lot there because I'm just so forward thinking right now about like we're making shit, and it's not just GENO, we're making a bunch of shit. And I'm sort of like,
how do we tell people about it?
No, I'm just sort of like battling my own depression right now by like super getting involved with our art and like being like, okay, so we want to make shit and we have people that want to make shit, so let's do it. Let's make it happen. So
yeah. I think that's probably why I worked on the theme song this week, even though I was feeling really down. And like, I've definitely been having one of those weeks where I'm like, everything I make sucks.
Yeah,
And
that's how I feel.
I feel like I'm full of garbage, and everything I've made lately is just boring. And I don't know why I feel that way. It's not like because of anything other than just sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
But,
Well, I
but
mean,
working on music has been good, and I feel like the theme song came out better than I thought it would, and I'll keep working on it and making it sound cool.
I'm
And
excited. I mean, like the first draft, I've already listened to it a bunch, like
yeah, Ryan is
repeatedly.
into it, which was a relief for me because I was like, well,
Relieving.
if
She's
Ryan doesn't like this, then I just spent a lot of time
You were
on
very
the
worried that if I
song.
didn't like it, you would be like really upset.
I
But I
wouldn't
really
be
loved
I
it. So
wouldn't
I
be
mean,
upset.
it's
I would just
perfect.
be like, well, I guess I wasted a bunch of time. Like I wouldn't have been mad at you. For the
Well,
record, if I
okay.
make something and you don't like it, I'm not going to be mad.
No, but I think the pressure was a little on because it's something that we've been working on for so long, and it's like really
Also,
close
you
to
sent
our
me like
hearts.
6 different
Yeah,
songs, and you were
I
like,
was
"Can you
like,
make the
mix
theme
it all
song
together.
exactly like all of these?" And I was like, "Okay, well, these songs are different from one another, first of all, and like from different decades and
Okay,
are
but
different
see, here's
genres."
the thing.
But I still managed to do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you managed to do it, and it sounds like the decade we were going for, which is sort of like that mid
90s.
'90s Nickelodeon
So, like,
feel.
if people have never listened to this show before, which is unlikely, but just in case you haven't, Ryan and I are working on a science fiction comedy web series together, and it's
Well,
called GENO, and
yep,
it's sort of inspired by stuff from the 90s
and Futurama a little
and
bit.
Futurama and Space Cases and Star Trek, because what isn't inspired by Star Trek, and X-Men.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
it's
Uh,
sort of those things all thrown into a bag and then also made for adults because we're making it.
yeah,
And
so it
there's
sort of has
adults in
like
it.
that like Nickelodeon child humor, but like with adult themes, if that makes any sense.
Adult themes.
Yeah.
It's honestly G-rated. Like
Yeah.
as many times
Well,
you've written
yeah,
video
actually.
scripts where you're like, the characters should have sex here. I'm like, Ryan, that's not.
Okay, we don't need to get into that right now. So
All the characters are having sex, but it's not shown. It's
you
an
just hear
adult
them in the other
show.
room.
They are all dating each other, but it's not. It's it's like a comedy.
It's like, yeah. I was gonna say, well, not a comedy.
It's like
The base is
Friends,
like
but in space.
the space base is like a college campus, so everybody's also having sex, you know. So
They're super spies, so
yeah.
you know.
Um,
Spies.
but in general, you can go follow us on Atomic Blue because it's not just Gino we're making. We make other stuff too, like the Throwbacks and Leon and Jill, and we've been discussing some other ideas. And I, for the record, would love it if Jonathan Holmes was Nemesis. Like, I still love this idea. I don't know
So if
how
we
we can
ever
make
make another Leon and Jill
I know,
video,
like, but you
people
know,
don't
those.
even know what that is. I mean, we should link that more. Ryan and I made a comedy video about Resident Evil. Okay, can you tell me about this thing that is on the list? Because I don't know what it is.
Okay, yeah, there's a couple things. So first of all, I'm I'm spending a lot of time at Pacific Eastern Tavern in New Haven, Connecticut, because I work for my friend Felicia. We sort of work together, but she's technically my boss in these situations where she is organizing all these events and at different venues, and Pacific Standard Tavern is one of them. And she also goes there for the other concerts and stuff that are happening there when she's not organizing an event, because they provide like the art for the galleries that are up on the walls. So I saw this like weird ska punk folk band called Bella's Bartok, and I think they're from like Western Mass, but they sound like ska, but like they're also playing like folk music, but it sounds like ska. And
No,
she
I know what you
posted,
mean.
yeah, she said she was going to go to it, and I looked them up, and I really liked what I listened to, and I was like, okay, well, they're here
Their
now.
name sounds kind of familiar. Like I'm wondering if I've seen them at a show before.
You probably have, and the energy that they have in their show is crazy awesome. Like, they are so cool. Like, they just like are fully into their music, jumping around, yelling. I guess they
That's
had to be talked out of
awesome.
not throwing glitter everywhere. So I mean,
That
that was
sounds great.
but like they had a huge like turnout of people that were like sort of like moshing but not moshing, and like dancing around, but Also, everybody is dressed like they were like from the fucking 80s, so I don't know what that was about, but like,
Well, there's sort of a glitter theme, but that's interesting because like ska and folk together, I wouldn't necessarily have thought
right,
there'd
and
be
it's really
a
good.
David Bowie aesthetic happening.
I mean, I've never seen anything quite like it, and like their fans are awesome, and they're like dancing around and jumping around, and it was a great concert, and I absolutely recommend checking them out, especially if you're sort of like into like the ska punk scene. Like that's not what they are. They're technically folk, but like it does not sound like that.
It
They're like
has
playing
that
folk
vibe.
songs as ska music, basically.
That's
And
cool.
yeah, it is really great. And so, we did that. And I've also been I was just at Pacific Standard Tavern last night meeting about stuff that I still can't talk about, but probably in the next week or two, I will be able to. So I'm excited about all that. And then this weekend, I'm shooting another event there for their, they do this like sort of like EDM scene that's on Saturday. So,
Cool.
yep, I gotta
Are you
go
gonna
shoot the
put that stuff
DJs.
up on the channel, or are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Yeah,
for some other company.
no. I'm gonna put it up over Atomic Blue. So,
Okay, cool.
and I'm shooting an Airbnb next week, which I'm pumped about. So,
Yay, Ryan getting jobs.
yeah, pretty much getting work. But you know what I was thinking about last night, because like I was working with these two people that we're working on this project with, and then also like we were talking to some of the DJs that were there, and like also the guy that owned the bar. Like, and I was sort of thinking about how like I work with like artists all the time, and I have with you, and like even at Kineticon, it's just like sort of always working with artists, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't know if people know this, like unless they are an artist, but like those of us who are artists, and like whether it's like a photographer or like a musician or a writer or like an illustrator, an animator, like we do those jobs, but then we like have to have like shitty other jobs also to pay the bills, because making art is never enough. And like it's just like I was thinking about like how everybody was like coming off of work and they like still have their work clothes on, and then we're like, okay, now we're gonna start talking about this project we're working on, and that like we work so much for like the payoff in art just to like make it, like that's it, like there's no you know what I mean, like, and it's like that across the board, and I don't think everyone realizes or necessarily appreciates how much work like we have to do, because it's after we've worked for like 40 to 50 hours at some other job that we like. I mean, for your case, not like you.
I mean, I have a creative job, which is incredibly cool, and I'm really lucky. But even in addition to that job, I still do work that pays nothing,
right?
Which is writing music. Like no one cares. Like that's not ever gonna be my full-time thing, and I wish it could be, but it never will be. So it's a hobby that I do in my spare time.
Yeah, and I sort of keep on pushing this. I'm like, but if you have somebody doing art for you, pay them.
Oh my god!
Like you can't just like skip it out. Like barter with them, do anything, because like I mean, we don't make a lot of money. So,
yep.
Anyway. I'm talking way too much.
It's okay.
I'm like delirious this morning. So
is it time for workout tips?
Yeah, but do you have any? Because
okay,
I'm like not prepared for workout tips today.
Well, that sucks because I'm really not either, and I was hoping that you would.
Okay, so I'm gonna preface this by saying,
here's my advice: if you can work out, I say do it. If you can't, like if you have an injury, then don't. I mean, that's.
I've been sort of off the wagon these past couple of weeks, which is not good.
But I really haven't even been around. Which sucks. I mean, I've just been doing the same stuff. I've still been going to the track. Every time I go to the track, I feel like I'm killing it.
Well, that's good.
Do interval training. I've talked about interval training on this show before, so I can't do that this time.
I can say something that
still playing some Pokemon Go whenever I walk around town. Still go to my Pokestops.
Yeah, I guess something I would talk about, because I was just talking about it earlier this week with my mom, who is a dance teacher and owns her dance studio. of over 30 years now. We were talking about running, and she sincerely believes that running is not good for you at all because of the pressure
It
and sort of
messes up your
like
knees. Yeah.
the impact it does on your knees and your ankles. And I was sort of like arguing, I'm like, yeah, but you teach dance, which like there's still running and leaping happening. And she's like, with proper shoes and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, but like, and so here's my advice, my workout advice is like, if you're a runner or if you're running or if you start running and you're learning how to do it, um, the interval training is important, but like what's important is not how far you run. I mean, if you want to do endurance, that's great, but like you're damaging like everything in the long run. And
Yeah,
I
like
don't,
marathons. We've talked about that a little bit on this show.
yeah, which I don't run marathons, but when I do run, I don't like go huge distance. It's more important to power walk than it is to run.
I love power walking.
But the point of running is to get your cardio up and down. So like you only really need like 30 seconds of like actual running, and then you slow it down to power walking. And then because you're raising,
like
you're
sprint.
elevating.
It's a sprint, basically.
Yeah, you're elevating your heart rate and then bringing it down. But like pay attention to like how your legs feel. You may feel sore and be like, oh, I just ran because I'm sore. But if you're feeling like soreness in your ankles or whatever, or like in your knees, that means you got to fucking calm it down. Like, because that's damaging in the long run.
Through an injury.
Yeah.
For example.
Yeah, exactly. Like I've made that mistake when I was younger, when I didn't twist my ankle, but I like sort of like rolled it a little bit and like then kept running afterwards. Don't do that.
I'm really glad that I've never had a situation where I got really injured from working out and then tried to continue working out. I've known many people who've done that. It hasn't happened to me. But I'd like to think that if it did happen, I would know.
Yeah.
But I also think that even in my worst periods of time when I was exercising, I would say over exercising, I luckily didn't get injured, but I do think that I mean, I think you're right. Like, honestly, running a marathon, like the first person that ever ran a marathon died afterwards. Like,
I don't know that information.
Oh,
Are you
well, it's true.
making that up?
No.
Can I like Wikipedia this?
Yes, you
They'll
can.
Like,
okay,
like,
so Marathon is the name of a place. This is like an ancient Greek thing.
Oh, I did not know that this is where you were pulling it from.
No, it's really. You thought you meant like a modern person. I mean, I'm sure there are people who have run a modern marathon and have not been okay afterwards. Hopefully, no one has died. But the very first marathon ever, the reason why marathon is such a weird, specific distance, 26.219 miles, is because it's the distance between two specific places. And like the origin, I Googled it. It comes from the legend of Philippides, the Greek messenger. The legend states that he was sent from the battlefield of Marathon to Athens. So the distance between Marathon and Athens basically is 26.219 miles. Who now said the Persians had been defeated. This was before there was any other way to communicate besides just riding an animal or walking or running somewhere to tell someone something.
Well, it's so sad that you said riding an animal. I'm sure they meant like a horse, but I thought like a battle cat.
I don't know that the Greeks actually rode horses. That's more of a European thing, right? So they would have ridden other animals. Isn't that right?
No, I mean, there's like camels,
like elephants and stuff.
They wouldn't ride.
What? Well, they would. This was the battle with Persia, dude.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Let's go watch Aladdin.
Okay, Aladdin is not accurate, so don't watch that. Anyway, I don't think they had horses, so they would just run and walk everywhere. So yeah, this guy ran 26 miles and then he dropped dead after he shared the news.
Yeah,
that happened. So anyway, I guess you could argue that he wasn't properly trained to run that distance, but that's because running that much distance is not great for you. Like, really, no matter who
it's
you
really
are
bad for your joints.
Do.
And like, I
so
know
we're telling you to stop running.
No, we're not.
Stop.
I mean, it's not quite the interval training tip that we keep giving, but like, it is sort of like,
don't. Honestly, like, it sounds shitty, but I really don't recommend that people run marathons. Like,
no,
I just don't. I know people who do it and they seem to think it's really fun. My guitarist ran a marathon once, or at least he did like a long distance thing, and he got seriously injured.
I
like
would.
he was like, I stopped doing that after a while because it was injuring me.
So like they don't. Yeah, okay, so like I don't know if you know this, but so there's the Boston Marathon, right? So
Of
everybody,
course.
which is a huge thing, but they also usually have like I think it's a cancer walk, which is the same route as the Boston Marathon, but you just walk the whole thing. I
Uh-huh.
would do that before I would do the actual Boston Marathon
Still, like,
because
walking 26 miles? That's a
that's
lot.
that's a lot, but it's not I mean like you're going to be sore at the end of the day, but you're not like really hurting yourself quite as much.
That's
I mean
true.
because
I still wouldn't want to walk 26 miles in one day. It's
I
just
think I've
like,
done it before and I just
why?
haven't realized it
Oh,
because
sure.
like
But like I don't, in addition to all the other walking that I might want to do that day, like I
yeah,
don't
sure. I think after that you'd be
do you
done,
know what I mean? Like
but
I
I
don't
mean,
I just don't think that amount of exercise in a single day makes sense. Like after a certain point, you're
yeah.
just tempting fate. So
I
anyway, I still do interval training. We've talked before about getting proper footwear. We've talked about how tracks are usually made out of really specific materials. Like the track that I go to is sort of made out of this spongy foam,
I think it's like a
which
rubbery type of
yeah, which
material.
is intentionally made so that the resistance of running on concrete that really damages your knees, which is part of why I don't advocate marathons and walking those routes, is because they're almost entirely on sidewalks. And like, no matter how great
Yeah.
your shoes are, you're just really doing some damage there. Like in ancient times, when this marathon guy was running, he was running on ground, and
Yeah.
he still
Oh,
wasn't
well,
doing okay at the end of it.
yeah.
So, but at least that was like a better thing to run on than concrete, which is just not
Well,
great.
look at that. We ended up having workout tips after all.
Nope. All of them were things we've said before, but that's okay. Let's move on.
um, we promise all.
Pokemon,
Yeah,
gotta catch 'em all.
we'll get some better tips next week when we're not as
Sorry.
crazy.
Sometimes there's just not anything new to say. All
So
I've been doing is running around. I haven't even been weightlifting.
yeah, I mean, like we've both been busy. Before I get into the news, because we keep on forgetting to do this, Maddie. But everyone, if you want to send us reader mail to read on air, send it to insomniacs in the morning at gmail.com and we'll read it like today. I've been posing a question everywhere episode asking what everybody's favorite childhood cartoon is. So if you email us now and you're listening,
We'll tell you what it is.
well, we'll read
tell
it.
you what your email said.
We'll read about it on air in like 10 minutes. We don't have a lot of news, so like, this isn't like San Diego Comic-Con where we like we have like 20 topics and we can talk about like 5 of them.
That's okay. We could have a short show.
So email us is what I'm saying. Yeah, so anyway, moving into news, Pokemon is taking over the world. Period. I feel like this is like a flashback to 1999 when like the Pokemon trend started. Because
is that when it started? I thought it was earlier than that.
I think it technically was like 1998.
Oh,
but
like
I think
the really big, like once everybody was like, "Oh my god, Pokemon!"
that
It
was
was
like
probably
2000, 2001, sure.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, like I feel we're back in that phase again.
We're back. Pokemon is back.
So obviously there's Pokemon Go, which there was an update on.
It's a big UI update, which I don't hate. You've been complaining about it and being like, "Now none of my Pokeballs work anymore," which
I don't. Well,
really
I
had that
haven't been complaining that much, but a lot of people I know have been saying that. I'm feeling like the spawn rate went down, which is stupid.
Yeah, that is stupid. If it's true, it's definitely stupid.
And I think a lot of people are experiencing that.
I'm still
Maddie, you just froze for a second. You froze again.
Dang.
All right, you're still.
Cool.
Hello. Okay, I think you're there. Talk.
I'm back. Sorry.
Okay.
You were breaking up too. Couldn't hear you that entire time. So that's great. Thanks, Google Hangouts. Okay, Pokemon.
Yeah, so I guess there's been these updates and like people like feel like catching them and Pokeballs has always been a problem. I don't feel like there's a solid system for that still.
I mean, if you do it at the right time, it works.
Yeah, they got rid of the footprints
necessarily
thing.
easy, but yeah, they did get rid of the footprints thing. I mean, none of that stuff really bothers me, but I'm playing Pokemon Go in such a different way than everyone else I know that I feel like I really could care less. It's like I'm already walking around. I just take it with me. If I remember to turn it on, I turn it on.
That's how I feel too.
I don't play as often as other people, so I'm a way lower level than most of my friends.
Yeah,
There's
we have
no
this group
way
chat.
I'm gonna beat any gyms ever in 1,000 years. I'm not in Ryan's elite Pokemon group chat.
No, you are. What are you talking about?
I'm not. What are you talking?
You're in the group chat with everybody from Natick. Everybody's talking about
the text chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's a group chat. It's a text.
I mean, like, well, I've been trying to push everybody into a different.
I thought you meant like a Facebook thing.
No, I that's what I would love to have, but I can't get everybody off the text thing.
Well, it's a lot of notifications. So
yeah, I know. So okay, so everybody on there has been posting like, oh, we're level like, I don't know, 18, 20 or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not.
Steph and Ryan, Katie are like 20 something.
They walk around even more than I do, and that's great. I wish I did more.
I walk around a lot too, but like I think all of them like go actively sit at Pokestops, which I don't do. Occasionally I'll do that. I'll bring Lyra with me, but like I don't have the time.
I don't either, and I don't even know that they do. I think Katie was describing how her train route, every time the train stops, there's a lot of Pokestops there, so she can collect Pokemon every day on her way to work and every night when she's coming home. Like that's something that is just a luxury for her.
Right. And
I don't know what Raity's doing. He should have a job.
I feel like all the people that I know that live in the cities or like takes a train everywhere, like they are leveling up way faster because they have to pass 50,000.
Goes so slowly in Boston too that
I didn't even think about that.
Speed. So you're just like ever so
like,
slowly.
Why did I get on this train? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure if I was still like living in Boston and working at the Phoenix, I'd be collecting Pokemon every single day. And that would be great.
Yeah, actually, you probably would be. The Phoenix would probably be a stop, honestly.
Probably not.
You don't think so?
The Phoenix was just like a really shitty office in the upstairs of like a retail establishment.
But Fenway was right there.
Money.
No, but Fenway was right there. So Fenway
but not that close. I don't think I would have just been sitting at work. Here's the other thing. Steph's home is a Pokestop.
Okay, there's like a little. This is like
Steph
bullshit.
Can collect Pokemon at her house.
This is like one of those stops that like is a memorial because there's like a sign that's like this, like a street sign
right outside where she lives.
Yeah.
So she just sits at home and swipes the thing every 5 minutes. So that's why Steph is a high level. Again, still no idea why Raichu is such high level. I haven't come up with an explanation for that yet.
Moving on from Pokemon Go, there's other Pokemon news like they showed some new types in Sun and Moon. That are like exclusive to this game. Like there's like a new version of Executor that's terrifying looking because now it looks like a palm tree, but it just looks like it has a really long neck, which is really scary.
Yeah, everybody's been making fun of that and like turning it into memes.
I know.
Week.
But there's been some
weird,
cool stuff where they were like, oh, so in this region there's a different version of like Vulpix and Ninetales and Sandshrew and Sandslash, which are like instead of fire types, they're ice types. And for me, I love my fire types. Like for the most part, I have only fire with like maybe.
Yeah, but you gotta balance out your team, Ryan.
Yeah, I know, right? But I'm super into it. I think the ice Sandslash looks fucking awesome. And they had some new stuff too, like this other one. I think it's pronounced Minior, which is like a meteor that floats around, but you have to like destroy its outer shell to get to its core, which I think is fucking awesome. I think they had like a donkey too and a mongoose. Okay, but they also had like, I don't know if you've seen this, Maddy, but they introduced like these new dancing bird types, and there's like 5 of them. And I was like,
I did see that. I
was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like dancing birds, like
they're really cute. That's what they are. I mean, that's the answer to all of these, is that all the Pokemon are really cute.
I mean, true.
Pokemon.
I was so angry that I was like, why are they dancing?
Why, you were angry?
Yes.
Why? I just like saw gifs of it.
I was very passionate about these dancing birds.
I saw gifs of it and I was like, that's really cute. And Ryan was like, fuck these birds. I'm fucking mad. Pokemon is serious.
Throwing down the computer.
Why won't anyone take Pokemon seriously? This is no dancing matter.
Okay, I guess we should clarify that they're sort of like racist dancing birds, though, because they're like,
are they? I didn't see. Oh,
they're like, this is how people dance in Hawaii, and I was like, oh god.
Oh. I just saw the gifs of people putting the dancing birds like set to music and stuff, and I was like, these are really cute.
They are
and
very
I didn't
cute.
like think about the implications at all. So that's my bad.
It might be me alone in this, so
No, you're right. There is like a hula one, and you're right. You're right. Pokemon, it's not the first time Pokemon said something racist, and it won't be the last because I don't know, society sucks sometimes.
Yeah.
On a lighter note,
they're also talking
Executor.
they're also talking about a live action Pokemon movie, which I don't think is actually what everyone thinks it is. I think live action Pokemon movie means that they're doing a movie to go along with Detective Pikachu, and that's technically live action. That's my thought on this.
Yeah, everybody's been talking about that and like saying that they want Danny DeVito to be Detective Pikachu or something, and I don't know.
Okay.
That meme has been going around for ages. And
I don't really know if I'm ready for that.
Me either. But I'll watch a weird Pokemon movie. I mean, we've watched all the animated ones, which are also terrible.
So I feel like they're not that bad. I love the first movie still. I'll watch that, and I mean,
Caro and I were just talking about that first movie.
The one where Ash dies?
Yup.
Throwback.
Yup. Spoiler alert, Ash dies. Spoiler alert, Pikachu brings Ash back to life with the power of his love.
No, I think I thought it was like the Pokemon's tears which makes less sense, but whatever.
It does. I mean, the Pokemon cry because they love Ash so much, and then the tears bring him back to life. But also, doesn't Pikachu like use his powers as sort of a defibrillator? Am I remembering all of this right?
I mean, he probably
does.
It's
a weird movie. Really good, though. Really good stuff.
I just liked it because Mewtwo was making clones of Pokemon that were like...
Right. There was
then he was just like, then also kidnapping people and then like fucking with them. And I was like, I kind of love Mewtwo.
I think that if you went back, you'd be like, this movie's very simplistic.
Which
is not a bad thing.
No, but it's for kids. Like,
it's for kids, and I think when we were younger, we were like, whoa, this movie's like surprisingly cool. But I think if we watch it now, we'd be like, not that much happens in this movie.
It's a very short.
I think that would be.
I think the movie itself is under an hour because it included that short that came with it, the vacation one.
Yeah, so it's more like just a really long episode, which we watched all of those too. So
yeah, I still watch them. Anyway,
so the live action Pikachu or Pokemon movie is just gonna be that movie, hopefully. And there's
Mewtwo's gonna show up. He's the main character. I'm also starring in it. All right,
I would watch that.
Let's talk about some Marvel stuff. Like, it was confirmed that Valkyrie is going to be rumored
for a really long time. That Valkyrie will be in Thor, but now it's confirmed.
And that makes me really excited because I don't really traditionally read a lot of the Thor comics, but I will read them if like Sif or Valkyrie is there. And Valkyrie's really fucking great, guys. Like, she's an awesome character. She's basically Thor, but a girl. Although I guess Thor's actually a girl now. Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they should get rid of Valkyrie by any means. Just make everybody girls. That's
probably what's going to happen is they're going to cast Valkyrie, and it's going to be like a 12-year-old.
Oh my god! No.
Wearing like a really
actually, that would be kind of cool if she was literally 12 and it was like a completely different version. They won't do that. It'll be some hot up and coming actress, I'm sure.
Yeah, who's like 28 or something. I don't
know. Because you're saying that you wish Valkyrie was like going to be played by an older woman.
Yeah.
That won't happen. I'm sorry, Ryan, but I'll tell you right now that it won't happen. I can promise you that.
I know, right? I'm sure Famke Janssen has things to say about that.
Oh, man. Why wouldn't they could cast her? That would be really cool. I guess she's already, not going to ever get to play Jean Grey again. So isn't she available?
Nobody knows what the fuck is happening
I would love
with the
X-Men. Her back.
They're like, they're doing that whole thing again where they're still trying to work out the contract between X-Men and Avengers again because Fox recently was like realizing that Sony selling Spider-Man back was like profitable for Sony, and Fox is like, wait, I didn't know that was going to happen. And it's like,
Fox is like, wait, we could get rid of all these properties that we've been fucking up for the past decade?
Yeah, and have Disney pay us a ton of money.
Fantastic Four off of our hands. We have no idea what we're doing. I wish they had figured that out years ago.
Yeah, I mean, there's still nothing confirmed, but like they're obviously trying to work it out.
I don't blame them. I mean, like whatever. It's hard to make a superhero movie that's original and good. But to bring it back to Thor, I actually feel like a lot of the news about Thor Ragnarok has sounded really cool.
Yeah.
Like, the writers on it that they have, I think, are really good. Like they've got that guy who writes Flight of the Conchords punching up the script, so it might actually be funny.
They also have like the Hulk in it,
and I
which
love
just
Mark
sort of
Ruffalo's Hulk. Like legit, I think Mark Ruffalo is a really cool Bruce Banner.
Well, I think that there's a good chance that this is going to lead to a Planet Hulk movie, which is sort of like a big thing in the Marvel universe. So, because like, why would Hulk be in another world, if that makes any sense? And they sort of like revealed some Hulk armor that looked like Planet Hulk. So
yeah,
I think there's a good chance
for a while too. Like ever since the Hulk left at the end of Age of Ultron, people have been like, "Oh, are they doing Planet Hulk next?" And Marvel Studios was like, "No, no."
Well, you know, they got to keep it under wraps.
No,
they're also bringing Ghost Rider to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I guess they got that property back, which I don't remember that happening.
Weird.
But was that part of the Spider-Man property? I don't remember.
I honestly don't know. I'm not a Ghost Rider fan at all. So unfortunately, I can't help you with that.
I just know that
is from any comic book, and I'd be like, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah,
comics, sure.
I don't really care for Ghost Rider, but it's interesting because they already had that other guy. I think his name's Hellfire. I might be wrong.
They've already got like skull dudes and
no, they have like this guy that's part of the Secret Warriors who uses flaming chains, and now they're going to introduce Ghost Rider who also uses flaming chains.
Can't get enough flaming chains.
Guess not. I'll watch it though. And Suicide Squad is out, but we obviously can't talk about it. We haven't seen it yet. Week. We'll talk about it next week.
The only reason why I would want to go is just curiosity, because the reviews have been such a weird
morbid curiosity. And also people are like petitioning to like change the reviews. What is happening?
Why are nerds so ridiculous now? Like,
because they're very passionate about what they love.
The thing you like. It's okay if people don't like the thing you like. It's okay if they like the thing you don't like. Just leave them alone or block them if you disagree with them, and then don't talk to them anymore.
Okay, speaking of like passionate geeks like ourselves, can you explain to me this Batarang craziness?
This was like a fluff piece that I wrote over the course of the week that Ryan put into news.
Because I read it. And I was like literally like, what the fuck? Is this actually a thing?
I didn't get the scoop on this. Like some Hollywood Reporter person found all of these old Instagram posts over years or 1 year of the TSA finding Batarangs and people's carry-ons.
like metal Batarangs, right?
Months and months of people trying to carry metal Batarangs onto planes.
Do you think it's people who were like going to conventions and like had them as props, or just people that had Batarangs?
I think that there's a very particular personality type that perhaps our friend Steph has of collecting
on a carry-on.
Yeah, Steph is way too responsible to actually bring these things out of doors, but Steph definitely enjoys collecting nerdy themed weapons that are real versions of the weapon. Like she has like a real version of the Master Sword and so on and so forth. And hangs them on her wall, and like that's completely fine. But then I do think there's a type of personality that's more extreme than Steph, that like thinks that these weapons are so cool that they want to carry them with them everywhere. Do you know the type of nerd that I'm talking about?
No, I
like
get
sort
that.
of a libertarian kind of a nerd who's like, I am Batman. Like I've actually met people who like have a little bit of that going on.
Steph and I both like collecting like sort of swords and daggers and stuff like that. So I get that, but I wouldn't like neither of us.
I own a lightsaber that I've displayed on this show, and I also own a Gears of War Lancer that's huge.
I know you do.
For the record, I'm also a huge nerd.
But
I'm not making fun of this.
I know that they sell this kind of shit at like conventions, like, and you can actually buy like a blade at a con.
Yeah, and then you can't actually carry it around the con.
But like, imagine if you are somebody that like flew down to a place and they have to fly back, but they don't want to put. I don't know why they just want to check it in like.
Also, you have to mail it to yourself. Like you could just put those batarangs into an envelope.
Yeah,
and
maybe
mail
that's
them.
maybe that's as simple as that. I don't know.
They actually let you do that at the TSA. Like, FYI, if this ever happens to you, there was one time when I accidentally left a miniature Swiss Army knife in my checked bag, and I was really upset because I was like, I want to keep this. This is like expensive and nice. And they were like, you can just mail it to yourself. And they tell you where the post office is at the airport, and you can go there, and they charge exorbitant rates because they can, but you can mail it to yourself, and they give you a little padded envelope.
That's a fun tip.
Yep. So ask. And even if the TSA agent is being a dick and being like, I can't believe you brought this, which is what happened to me, they were dicks about it. And I was like, yeah, I'm irresponsible. I'm a child. Sorry. I was like a teenager at the time, so I was really humiliated.
Well,
anyway, don't bring your fucking batarangs on your carry-on bag.
Yeah, also, like, to be fair, Maddie, it was a different time when all this started.
Oh,
because
yeah.
we were like,
it was like post 9/11.
When that wasn't a problem, and now it is.
Well, 9/11 happened when I was 14, 15. I think 15. So it was
16.
after that. It was after that. And this was the type of thing that before 9/11, it was such a tiny, it was literally a miniature Swiss Army knife. It should have been fine. I was not going to be able to hold up a plane with that thing.
I know.
And you probably couldn't hold up a plane with a batarang.
Well, I don't know. It could be really good, but
them's the breaks, you know? If you really are Batman, you totally could. You could like.
Well, Batman would be busy saving everyone, so.
I mean,
let Batman save people.
Unless it's like brainwash Batman or like Bizarro Batman. I mean, like, I don't know.
Bizarro Batman.
I made that up. What do you think? Do you think DC's going to go for it?
Clone Batman by Mewtwo.
It worked really well for Superman. What if we have a Bizarro Batman? I just think DC needs some new ideas.
All right, tell me about Splash so we can, because that's the last thing.
I'm just excited about this.
I don't know anything about this.
They're remaking Splash, which is like that live action Little Mermaid movie with Tom Hanks in it as the lead. And
I don't remember this.
Oh my God. Okay. This movie's amazing. First of all, it's an 80s movie, so I can't believe you haven't seen it, but it's about Tom Hanks falling in love with a mermaid. That's the plot of the movie. And she figures out how to get legs, and she goes on land and hangs out with him, and it's great. And I won't tell you what happens at the end. It's basically the Little Mermaid, but with no songs, and it's live action.
But now
they're remaking it, and they're gender swapping it, and
that's awesome.
Tatum is going to be the merman.
I sort of love Channing Tatum.
Amazing.
He's like legitimately somebody who's like.
I'm pretty sure it's Channing Tatum. I hope I got this right.
I think you're
right.
Let
me check. I'm googling it.
We'll do some fact checking. But in general,
that's happening. It's happening. It's Channing Tatum.
He's like Chris Hemsworth. He'll like be willing to do that kind of shit. He's
great, and I'm excited. Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm surprised I haven't seen this, considering how obsessed I am with like 80s movies, and I just have not watched this.
Please watch it.
All right. Quick throwback.
Yeah, let's talk about Throwback.
So Maddie has not seen this show, but I was
actually, Ryan, I watched most of the pilot episode.
Did you?
Before getting bored.
Did you really?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, we're talking about space cases because we're in the process of making GENO.
We are. And Ryan was like, Space Cases is exactly like GENO. Listen to this theme song.
It's really not. But like,
there's some similarities though.
But there was like, it was definitely an inspiration to me when I was like a kid. Well, actually, I was closer to a teen at that point, because a lot of this stuff when I was 10, 11 was when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And Space Cases came out, and it basically was part of one of the many shows that Nickelodeon lined up that were like kids versions of adult shows. So this was like
kids version of Star Trek for sure.
Right. And it, instead of featuring like, you know, adults in it, they featured kids. So it was like this class of kids, like literally it was a class, and they were on a spaceship, and they boarded this other spaceship that like took them to like, they like went through a black hole to another universe, and they like are billions of miles away from home. So like it's just the kids and like their two teachers,
which is kind of like Star Trek, because they have to find their way home again.
Right, exactly. But I mean, you know, of course, it being a kids show, all the controls in the ship can only be activated by like teenagers. So like the teachers can't control anything, and there's like a crazy android lady that like also responds to them. And I remember this being my intro to space stuff, because I didn't really start watching Star Trek until later. I had seen Star Wars, and I was into that.
But when you're like 10, 11, you probably aren't even thinking about Star Trek.
Right.
I mean, especially when we were young, like the original series wasn't on then. It was like not even the Next Generation. What was on?
No, it was the next. No, the Next Generation was over. It was between that and then.
The next few Star Treks, which got really
God,
weird for
I'm
a
blanking
while.
on it. The one with this is a really great one. It's the one that's connected to the Next Generation. Fuck, I'm blanking on the name right
Isn't
now.
it the one with like, oh God, I don't know. After the Next Generation, I'm not familiar with Star Trek at all anymore. And I remember my friends watching it when I was in high school and me being like, that's weird. I'm not into that. Because I was a jerk. I don't know why I wasn't into
You're
it.
busy watching Gargoyles and Pokemon.
I was busy not having access to TV and being bitter that I couldn't watch it is the real reason.
I'm watching Wishbone and She-Ra.
I didn't have any of those things in high school. I just didn't watch TV at all at that point.
Well, the internet was coming around then, so
that's true. I was talking to you on AOL Instant Messenger.
Yeah, we weren't doing very much.
Anyway, Space Cases.
So Space Cases was cool, and they transported themselves around this ship by slides. I don't know if you saw that, if you got that far.
No, I didn't.
But the ship, like, literally is just a bunch of like playground slides that takes them to one end of the ship to the other, which is awesome.
That is awesome.
I miss old Nickelodeon.
I don't know if you've rewatched the pilot. I might be more familiar with the pilot than you because I just recently watched it because one of the many theme songs that Ryan sent to me to make for GENO was the Space Cases one. And so I was listening to it a lot. And every time I listened to it, it would automatically start the pilot because somebody has a YouTube playlist where that's how the videos are oriented. And so eventually I was like, I'll just watch it. I'm just going to try to watch the pilot. But I watched like the first half of the pilot. So the very beginning of the pilot, it did remind me of GENO because even though it's about teenagers, all of them are like losers and they're all failing school. I don't know if you remember that. No, I remember that.
I remember
the beginning is like these 5 kids or maybe even 4 kids.
And they're all rowdy and they're really terrible.
All like rowdy teenagers, but they're all trying really hard. And they're all part of like Starfleet essentially, but it's like, you know, high school Starfleet, and they're all from different planets, and one of them is from Uranus, and he like is self-aware about the fact that sounds like a joke. So like early on he's like, I hate that I'm from Uranus because everybody says it, and I'm like, this kid is like weirdly self-aware about this. And also, who cares? Like, you're in space, dude. Like, everybody knows what Uranus is. Anyway, so all the kids are from different planets, and they're all at this Starfleet Academy. It's not called Starfleet. It's called whatever it's called. Yeah. And this teacher walks in. This is the beginning of the show. And she's like, yeah, all of you are fucking failures, and you're all about to fail. And the kids are like, oh, man, we're trying so hard, but we're all bad at school. And I was like, this is really cute. And I'm sure that they're all, and then they all look outside and there's a spaceship out there and they're like, let's try to get on the spaceship. And I'm like, this plot's moving weirdly fast.
Well, I mean, it's a kid's show in the 90s. I
know. They don't really explain it. But like, as far as premises go, like the fact that it's a bunch of fuck ups and they all end up stuck in space, like that's such a classic premise.
Yeah, it is.
GENO isn't exactly like that, but it is like a group of spies who are a bunch of fuck ups, and like that part of it definitely reminded me of it. So I understood why Space Cases was the thing that led you to start writing GENO when we were in middle school. Like I could see the direct link there because in the very early days of GENO, it was like a team of 5. Young people
who navigated a spaceship and
and they all had different powers, and they were all roles. Mostly fuck ups. Like there was a lot of like comedy even in those early days, and obviously there were different characters. Like there's like Lance and Alisonia had characters who aren't in the version of GENO now at all.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see the similarities, and like initially I was skeptical about it when I listened to the theme song. I was like, this theme song doesn't sound like it's anything to do with the show that we have.
Yeah, I know. But it was more like about the
I see what you mean. It's a group. It's an ensemble comedy.
It's an ensemble, and like the group dynamic is sort of similar, where like there's like a super smart one, and then there's like sort of the strong guy, and all that.
And there's like the hot guy, hot cool guy,
and I also love
the
Catalina,
weird girl, and
Catalina who's talking to her invisible friend, who turns out to be real in season 2.
Of course, I mean that's obvious that they were going to go that way with it.
Yeah,
like in the very first scene, she's talking to her invisible friend, and everyone's making fun of her for talking to to what they perceive as an imaginary
like season
friend.
2, they like swap
But I was
them.
like, oh, it's going to turn out that that's real. Of course. This is a science fiction show.
Her invisible friend turns out to be from another dimension who is super smart and also has like telepathy and can possess people and like can talk to it. She has like immunity to everything. She's crazy.
That sounds pretty sweet.
I should get there. Anyway, I recommend Space Cases. And that's what I just want to talk about because I fucking loved that show as a kid. And it's not DVD yet or Blu-ray for some reason.
It's all on YouTube.
I know, you can watch it there.
So you can check it out.
All right, so we got some reader mail. We have people that are emailing us their favorite cartoons, which is what we want to do for our 30th episode. Is just kind of talk about everybody's favorite cartoons growing up.
Well, we talked about She-Ra and He-Man in depth before. I already have said that was my favorite.
Yeah, I was trying to think about what I really watched as a kid because it was in the 80s and I watched a lot of all the Nintendo stuff that was around like Captain N and Legend of Zelda and the Super Mario Super Show. I was really obsessed with this, but I was also super obsessed with like Ninja Turtles and a lot of Hanna-Barbera stuff that had carried over from like the 70s. So
I watched a lot of that. Scooby-Doo, actually. It wasn't allowed in my house, but when we went to my grandma's house, we could watch Scooby-Doo.
I was obsessed with Scooby-Doo and the Jetsons, like all that stuff.
I only watched Scooby-Doo, but I watched a ton of Scooby-Doo. And like Caro and I were watching that new Scooby-Doo that came out in 2012. And it was weird because I like understood all the references and Caro was like, I never watched Scooby-Doo. And I was like, this is like directly a reference to the original show that I watched for some fucking reason.
I also
that's on Netflix, by the way. There's like the Scooby-Doo mystery show or whatever the heck it's called.
I was also thinking like I really liked Rugrats and all that stuff, but I was older then. That was like not childhood anymore. Like I was 10 or 11 at that point.
And also like Pokemon
and Rugrats. And Doug and Rocko's Modern Life, but and Tiny Toons. I loved Tiny Toons, but like I was definitely like 10 at that point. So
Animaniacs.
Yeah, and I was like really into all that. But so we have some readers that sent in stuff. So Taylor sent us an email. And he goes, "Hi, Maddy and Ryan. There are two cartoons I remember going through a phase with: the PBS series Arthur and the movie The Troll in the Central Park. I have a precocious younger sister, so I'm pretty sure you can see the common thread here. Yes, I also loved Gem because for me, Kimmy watched that. The strangest thing about Arthur is how it's become a gold mine for internet memes. Why do we constantly make memes out of children's shows? Is it nostalgia, or do we all have a crass 10-year-old boy in our psyche struggling to get out? Also, never watched The Troll in Central Park. It has a 5.3 on IMDb, and I'm pretty sure it mildly traumatized me. I love the show, Taylor. I've never seen that, but I have watched a ton of Arthur. Because Kimberly, my sister,
haven't we talked on this show about how we both don't like Arthur? We've talked about that before.
I mean, when I was a kid, like when I was in elementary school, the books existed, and I
liked the books. We talked about how we both liked the books.
I thought the TV show was weird, but like Kimmy really liked it. She also watched the Richard Scarry show that was out at the time. I forget what that was called. That was also on Nickelodeon.
Arthur was supposed to be an anteater, right? But he doesn't look like an anteater.
I don't know what he is supposed to be. I think he is an anteater.
An anteater, but he looks nothing like an anteater. And I remember that bothering me even when I was a kid. Because I was one of those kids that was like into animals. And I was like, well,
this is a really bad anamorphic animal, and I want my money back.
That. I remember thinking that as a kid, and like everybody being like, but you like animals, why don't you like Arthur? And I was like, I don't know. It's weird.
I couldn't deal with watching Arthur because, like, I mean, everyone looked kind of weird, but I also was like, why is Muffy such a bitch? Like, she needs to fucking tone it down. Like,
I had that problem with Charlie Brown. Like, all the kids are so mean in Charlie Brown.
Oh my god, that was another show I couldn't deal with because everybody was like picking on Charlie Brown 24/7.
That kind of happens in Arthur, but in Arthur, I kind of got it because Arthur's annoying as fuck. So I was like. Why is anyone even friends with this guy? He's like a no one. He's like cardboard.
My God.
I really didn't care for it. But no offense, Taylor. Sorry. Like your favorite show.
We got more. Adam emailed us and said, it wasn't around lawn and not as well known, but I always enjoyed my history lessons from WB's Hysteria, which was on between 98 and 99. I remember that.
I've never heard of this.
What is it? No, it was like wasn't it a WB show that was like
I don't know. I didn't have access to any of these things.
I don't think it was actually connected to like Animaniacs and stuff, but it was sort of like the same concept where it was like these like crazy cartoons that also taught history. So similar to what Yakko did, and I'm pretty sure that's where it pulled from.
Or Wishbone, which was kind of historical
Yeah.
sometimes.
They also wrote in once that isn't really a child's cartoon, but I watched and enjoyed it immensely as a child was The Critic with John. Yes, The Critic. Way ahead of
love
time
it.
and well done. It stinks. Great show you two have. Thanks, Adam. Thank you.
Man.
Also loved The Critic, but I was watching that again. That was like The Simpsons. I watched The Simpsons and The Critic when I was way too young to be watching either of those shows.
I think a lot of people in our generation did. I was not allowed to watch those things. This is a crazy topic for me to suggest because it's just going to be people bragging about all the TV they got to watch when they were kids, and I'll be like, I wasn't allowed to watch it. But I wasn't.
Ooh, somebody also wrote in, Daria is getting rerun on my television, and it's not my favorite, but it's all right. Talk about that or something.
I love Daria, and
Daria
this person is wrong.
No, I think we need to do Daria as a throwback at some time because
I suggested it at one point, and you were like, "What are we gonna say? Daria's great," and then we move on, and I was like, "Yeah."
I guess Daria was a Gotham.
I went back and watched some Daria a few years ago.
It is so good. I
really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. There's like a early on season 1 episode where Daria writes an essay for school that incites a communist revolution. And I was
I love it.
What is this show?
Daria,
what is this show?
The progression is that you gotta watch Clarissa Explains It All, then you gotta watch Daria because those
I never watched either of those when they were actually on.
Oh my god!
Really
I grew up with Clarissa, and then I watched Daria after that, and it was like perfect. It was like the perfect like grungy, feminist goth girl. Yeah.
That, even while Daria was on, a lot of people compared me to Daria, and I was like, I'm not copying her because I don't even know what that show is, which is so Daria. But like, I was like, no, I'm actually just goth and sarcastic. I'm not copying this from anything. This is just already who I am.
Yeah, you and I are Daria and Jane. The end. That's
yes, we really are. I was Daria for Halloween once, but I didn't get all my costume pieces in time, so the costume really didn't come out. I should do that again.
Yeah,
I should do it again.
All right, another one we have from I don't know what the name is. It just says apple cider.
That's my friend Nico.
Hi, is Nico. It? I shifted through a bunch as a kid as I grew up. Thundercats and She-Ra were definitely biggies. Honorable mentions to Rainbow Bright and Pirates of Dark Water.
Rainbow Bright. I forgot about Rainbow Bright. I did watch that. Rented it from Blockbuster.
Yeah, I did. I didn't really get into Rainbow Bright until I've seen some of it. Thundercats. I love Thundercats. I really love Thundercats. And obviously She-Ra. But
yeah, of course.
I love Thundercats because like it's such a weird and dark show. Like the opening episode is like they call in Child Lion-O and they're like, "Oh, Lion-O, we need to show you something." And they show him his home planet blowing up. He's like crying. They're like, "You gotta grow up and man up, Lion-O." And I was like,
"Oh my god, holy crap!"
And they're like, he's crying, and they're all just like standing there laughing.
And they're like, "Get it together, Lion-O."
Cheetara and Panther are like,
I can't believe I'm laughing at that story. So clearly, I'd be a great Thundercat. You know what? God. I'm going to recommend Thundercats as a replacement for Arthur. If you're going to watch an anthropomorphic animal show, make it Thundercats.
Yeah, seriously. Cheetara is fucking the shit.
Yeah, she's awesome.
All right, we got a few more that aren't cartoons, but they are questions. So
okay,
we can
be serious.
Can we? I came into this Google Hangout screaming about ghosts. So
I came into it singing. That's how I remember it.
All right, so we have a email from Rick saying, Ryan and Maddy, the fact that Suicide Squad has a 3D version has me wondering, do you guys spend your money on seeing the 3D versions of movies when available or stick to the regular version? Perhaps sometimes and sometimes not. If sometimes, how do you judge which ones to pick and which ones have been notable and worth it? If not, did any experience in particular turn you against shelling out the extra dollars to see it in 3D? I can answer this saying that I do not go see any 3D movies. And I really hope this fad ends because I can't see the 3D.
They're so expensive. It's ridiculous.
No, it's not even that. It's like I mean,
Oh, you can't. Your eyes can't see
I
it.
like have some major depth perception problems, and so like even with glasses, like I can sort of see it, but like everyone is always telling me like how like amazing it looks, and I'm just like it still looks pretty flat to me. And that like, and I'm like sometimes like I can see it a little bit, but like it's just it doesn't work, and like it also like makes me kind of feel sick a little bit. So like, which is funny because I don't have motion sickness with like rides and stuff, but like
Yeah,
it
but
hurts my
probably because
brain.
of your
Like,
vision problems, you're like
yeah.
your eyes are constantly trying to self-correct. That yeah, I get what you're saying.
And
Yeah.
I get really angry because my older sister has like depth perception issues. No,
So angry.
well, but like when we were trying to buy tickets to X-Men Apocalypse, and for the longest time they were not doing pre-orders on the 2D tickets because they were
Oh,
only
no.
selling the 3D ones. And I was
So
like,
dumb.
not everybody can see this. And I was tweeting about it at the time. I was like, it's not a smart marketing decision to like do
I mean, the
this.
reason why they do that is to get more money, which sucks, but like the 3D tickets are so much more expensive and they keep trying to get people to buy them. And I get that movie theaters are going out of business and they have to figure out a
Come
way to
up
do
with
it
something.
somehow, but like I'm more approving of the stuff that's like, you know, having meals in the theater. I know we complained about that during X-Men, but if I have to pick, I'd rather have that be the thing that movie theaters are trying to upsell me on, like food and stuff, than 3D because I hate it. Okay,
Yeah.
so my answer, I can actually see the 3D, and I don't mind going to a 3D showing of something. I don't ever pick it myself because I'm a cheapskate. Like I would never select that. I would always choose the cheaper ticket. But if I'm with somebody else who's paying and they really want to see 3D, I'll go because I can see it and it's not the end of the world. So
Right.
like when I went to see Ghostbusters and Star Trek Beyond with SI, she really likes 3D and she was buying the tickets and it was like me
All right.
visiting
Well,
her.
you know,
So she bought it and I went to see both of those movies in 3D. And I can see 3D and honestly, I didn't think that it was necessarily worth it either time. I was like, this
yeah.
is perfectly fine, but it wasn't like I had already seen Ghostbusters in 2D and enjoyed it so much. And like seeing it in 3D, I was like, oh, maybe this will be even
Like
cooler.
might make the experience more
Honestly, it
interesting.
wasn't like I still loved the movie, but I was like, this is fine. And like Star Trek Beyond in 3D, I was like, oh, it was IMAX 3D. So
Yeah.
I was like, this is gonna be really, really sweet. It was fine. Like I don't know, it just doesn't blow my mind. So
Yeah.
I don't understand why those tickets are like $20. It's I love going to the movies,
I mean maybe
but
it's for a younger generation, but like
I don't think for anyone. I mean, like SI likes going to see things in 3D, but even she wasn't like, this is blowing my mind. She was just like, I think it's fun. Like,
yeah.
you know, like that's the extent of the excitement that I hear about it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I do. And I think a lot of people do like that. Like we went to go see Lion King when it was re-released in 3D and I really couldn't see it, but I just want to see Lion King again
But
on the
everybody
big
else
screen.
could.
Yeah. And like, you know, they enjoyed it and they're like, "Oh yeah, it looked cool in 3D." And I was like, I couldn't see it, but I was just happy to see Lion King again. So, you know,
Yeah, so basically, if your friends want to see a 3D movie, then I guess go along with it, but otherwise, save your money.
yeah. And if you can't see 3D, obviously don't spend money on it. We have another question from Nate K that says, "Okay, Maddy and Ryan, I have a question. Exactly how many musical instruments do you play? Also, good lord, there has to be a better option than Google Hangouts."
You
Yeah,
would think, but there isn't.
like I've been looking around, and there's some that we could pay a shitload of money for, which we might.
Does
But
anybody want to send us some money?
however, I don't want to dish out money if it's going to be just as shitty as Google Hangouts. So,
That's a good point.
I don't play any instruments anymore. Maddie does. I played like no,
Okay.
Maddie's the bigger. I can sing.
Brian, you play the piano a little bit, right? Like you
I do.
like know some notes.
You know, I know how to like. I can like play if I sit down and actually do it, but like I don't actively do it that often. So
Yeah, but like, you know, you done stuff. But that's the extent of it. I played piano since I was a kid. I played the clarinet when I was a kid also because I wanted to learn how to play the saxophone, but I never got around to figuring that out. I played the baritone ukulele when I was growing up. That's kind of the closest
awesome.
that I ever got to a guitar. Baritone ukulele is the bottom or the top four strings of a guitar. So it's sort of like a practice guitar.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed playing it, but I kind of fell off the wagon with it. And then I started trying to learn guitar when I was in high school, but I got bored because I was more interested in playing the piano. And now I play the guitar, but the guitar is honestly just the same as the piano. There's no difference. It's just you're
Right.
standing up while you play it. It's easy. If you can play the synthesizer, you can play that.
Yeah, I mean, I could play some piano if I want to, but mostly all my musical stuff has come from like just doing a shitload of like real singing, like not like, oh, I sing
Yeah,
in the
Ryan's
shower.
good
Like,
at singing. I mean, I made fun of him at the beginning of this show, but
yeah,
we were
but
in a
like,
lot of musicals together for a reason. So,
true. Um,
yeah.
and a lot of like jazzy lounge singing is what I do, but I don't really play any instruments. I played clarinet like in band for middle
As a
school,
kid, yeah. That was
but
my band instrument of choice. And I
if
kept playing clarinet. I kept up with it for a while. And I
I
played
could,
at church and stuff.
yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah.
So
I was a nerd.
Maddie's the musical nerd. All right, one more question from James, and it's easy. And he says, "Hey guys, I was wondering what the best Pokemon you have gotten in Pokemon Go is. Sincerely, James." My answer is like fucking nothing. Still, I'm getting all the fucking Pokemon I don't want.
Yeah, I mean, like have all the Pokemon that are in my area. I finally got a pop up last night saying that there's a Staryu nearby.
That's what I got a Staryu while I was at work, and I like messaged everybody who I knew that was in the area to go get the Staryu.
I didn't get it yet. I just got a pop up literally yesterday that it exists. So I'll get a Staryu soon.
I got a Staryu, and that was very exciting for me.
So apparently we're both literally saying Staryu, and I don't even have one yet. You know why? Because we were both obsessed with Misty growing up, and we would scream Misty call Staryu at each other.
I know, for fun, and like record ourselves. It's okay.
Staryu. That's a really sad answer. I already had a Jigglypuff, but I caught another Jigglypuff last night. I think Jigglypuff is really cute.
I have Jigglypuff.
I have a Clefairy. I like the little pink fluffy Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm getting all the basic ones still, like the Pidgeys and Pidgeotos and like Kakunas, and there's a bazillion Weedles out there, and like sometimes
I mean, we live kind of in the same area, like New England, and I feel like a lot of those Pokemon are from
I finally got a Pikachu when I was at Sarku, Japan, getting some food at the mall. Which, by the way, I don't know what the deal is, but there's always Meowths in just the malls.
That makes sense.
I mean, it does.
I mean, Meowth is, a fan of commerce, so makes sense, honestly.
Yeah. But I mean, I haven't caught like fun fact, you do need a Master Ball to catch Ditto in this game. Which is what
we didn't even cover that at the time.
I know.
Okay, we have to go.
Okay,
how much more is that it?
We have Sky's thing.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah. She goes, for today's recipe, I thought I'd have a handy life tip. Did you know you can freeze waffles and then heat them up in your toaster for 4 to 5 minutes for a quick and easy breakfast, or a really cool beginning to a sandwich? It's true. If you're like me, for when you make Bisquick batter and prepare waffles, you have enough waffles for like 10 sheets. By storing them for later use, you can make a peanut butter and jelly waffle sandwich, a sausage and egg waffle sandwich, or a whole host of other ideas.
That sounds really good, actually. I did know that you could do that because I used to eat Eggo waffles when I was a kid. Remember Eggo waffles?
I was thinking about Eggos the other day. Also, Caro the other day was like, has anybody actually put a Pop-Tart into a toaster oven?
I have, and they're usually really good, but most of the time I don't have any patience for that.
Yeah, that's how I just eat the Pop-Tart.
Yeah, although I haven't had a Pop-Tart in years.
Neither have I. I can't.
In high school, I used to get them from the vending machine.
That was like my go-to in college was Pop-Tarts, because what else did we have money for?
Also, we were just eating crap.
Like, I know.
We probably could have afforded to get like an apple, but
but instead we went to like McDonald's at midnight.
We're like, well, we can't afford anything other than McDonald's, and it's like
we're so cool. It's McDonald's at midnight. All right, her joke corner is Ryan's seen this one, but it is so good. Why does Donald Trump want to ban pre-shedded trees? He wants to make America great again. Waka waka.
Okay, this one really only works written down. So luckily I have also seen it before, because guess what, Sky? Ryan messaged me to show me this joke, because that's the friendship that we have.
I was like, look at this thing Sky wrote.
So it's a joke about shredded cheese, and great is spelled Grate. So if you want to text your friend that joke.
Okay. She also says, congrats on making it to 30. Hope we can all stick it in for a while longer.
Yay!
Thanks, guys.
Here's how we did it: by spending literally no time at all on preparation for this show and devoting no real time to it at all.
And also
you
not sleeping.
too can make it to episode 30 if you don't give a particular shit about whether or not your show is good.
Actually, in general, I mean, like, you should have some quality to what you do, but like, as soon as you make it about like, oh, this needs to be the
I've been
best.
a part of shows that required a lot of production value and like preparation, and I didn't have time to do them.
I do, but like, once when you try and like be like, oh, this is gonna be a big thing for me, and like, I
I say just phone it in and talk to your best friend for an hour a week.
I say, put production quality into everything you do, but also like it's something you're doing for fun. So like, don't make it like a big thing because
I mean, you can if you want. It's just that's not what this show is.
I just feel like it loses like its spirit once when you try and like.
You're trying to be all deep about it, and I'm just telling jokes, Ryan.
Okay, true. My recipe for today is right here, though. I made an egg wrap, which I just like literally scrambled eggs, put shredded cheddar cheese on there, and put spinach and tomato in there, and it's fucking great.
That's like ridiculously healthy.
I was like, I don't know, like I just felt it because my neighbor has a garden, and around this time of year, she starts giving me a ton of vegetables. So I was like, got to use all these tomatoes and spinach. So
you lucky duck. I wish that was my situation. Instead, my neighbors just, I don't know, whatever.
They're old and they stay at home.
They don't give me vegetables. I'll put it that way.
Okay.
This is unhealthy, but I've been like trying to reward myself lately by making myself really nice dishes. And some of those dishes have been really healthy. Like I made tacos last night with lots of veggies. That was delicious, but I've talked about tacos on the show before, I think.
Yeah, but you can talk about it.
Okay, I'll just talk about that. I won't give my unhealthy
recipe. There's so many different ways you can make a taco. So
what I do is I fry up hamburger, which you don't have to do if you're vegetarian like Ryan. You can chop up tofu or whatever and put the taco mix on there. I'm lazy and I use taco mix. I know Scott gave us a really good recipe for from scratch taco mix, which you can do. You can use cumin and stuff and do that yourself. It's not that hard to do. I'm just really lazy. And then I cut up a bunch of onions and an entire green bell pepper and an entire red bell pepper, and I throw all of that in with the hamburger and mix it around. And you don't need a lot of hamburger to make this work because it's mostly a veggie meal for fiber, because fiber is awesome. And then I made a bunch of brown rice, and this isn't even really a taco because a lot of times I don't even have chips. If I have chips around, I'll use them, but this time I just had brown rice. So I made brown rice, and then I have Mexican cheese and an avocado. So basically you put brown rice on the bottom, and then you put the hamburger and all that other stuff on top, and then put Mexican cheese on top. And then I sliced up some avocado slices and put them on there too. And it's like a really healthy dish. And it's basically tacos.
Avocado is so good.
If I had chips, I would have put chips on the bottom, and that'd be more like tacos. But this time I used brown rice, and it was really good.
That's a new recipe. I mean, and that's why I was like, there's so many different ways you can make a dish that's like a taco type.
It's more like a Mexican bowl.
It sounds more like a taco salad, which I'm a huge fan of.
Yeah, totally. And like you can get rid of the rice if you want to be like Atkins diet about it, but brown rice is great and it's delicious. So I think it's a good carbohydrate base for that meal, and it keeps you really full, and the leftovers are really good. Like you can I made a huge amount of it, so that way while I was at work I could just really quickly go throw some rice and the hamburger mixture onto a plate and cheese, and then just like toss it in the microwave for a minute. And it's delicious.
You and I are big fans of making big quantities of stuff that we like freeze for a couple days.
We do that all the time because I don't know, I'm terrible about making myself eat during the day. So I sort of like, I'm hungry, but like I get so focused on things that I either forget or I just keep on working. So we're the same way. And like even while I was working on that stupid GENO song, I was working on it for like 3 hours, and I kept being like, I should go get a glass of water. I should go get a snack. That's what I do.
Like
I was like, let me just finish this one thing, and then before I knew it was midnight. And I know
that I do the same thing, and I'll be so thirsty, and I'm like, I really need to go get a glass of water, but I don't want to stop, and then I'm like dying of thirst. Don't do that, guys. That's a bad.
Yeah, guys, just get up and get a glass of water. We're like crazy. Don't do what we do. Don't do it. All right.
All right, so let's close out. First of all, thank you everybody for sticking it out.
Emailing us. Thank you for emailing us too. You guys sent us so many emails that made me so happy. And if you want to send us emails next week, we'd love it. It's insomniacsinthemorning@gmail.com. And thanks for sticking it out, like Ryan was saying.
For 30 episodes. I didn't think we'd get this far. I really thought we'd get like 5 or 10 maybe. I never thought we'd get to 30 or have people actually watch the show. But I'm so glad you guys
not that
do.
many people watch it, but I think it's really funny that anyone does. Ryan and I would honestly do this show if 2 people watched it, and I'm not joking. We would do it.
I think it started off that way.
Thanks.
I think it was Mary Ellen and Sky were our first listeners.
That's not true. Our first episode has way more viewers than any subsequent episode.
Well, okay. No, I'm not going to call names
because people were like, "Oh,
great.
This sounds interesting. I want to check this out." And then they were like, "Oh, this is just bullshit. I'm going to leave." But the few hundred of you who stuck it out are cool in my book.
Yeah, and I really appreciate like you guys tweeting at us and sending us emails to Insomniacs, because I like answering that shit, and we'll answer anything you send as long as it's not like mean. But you guys have sent great questions in, and I have really enjoyed all the feedback we've gotten. Yeah, you all
Our listeners are really great. You're all really great. Yeah. Every single one of you is great.
So like, let's here. Cheers with my water to maybe 30 more. We'll see. And a coffee. Also follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel actually, which is
this one, the one you're watching right now.
But then our main YouTube channel is Atomic Blue Productions, which is where GENO will go, and other shit that Maddy and I make goes up over there. And you can follow Atomic Blue on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and Tumblr. I think that's all of them, which we talked about earlier in this show.
Mm-hmm. You can follow us individually if you want. Like, I'm Mitty Myers on Twitter, and Ryan is Dr. Yoshi 2 on Twitter.
Yep.
So you could do that if you want to see us
tweet about, I don't know, food. And you can also follow, I just posted this yesterday. I'm like, but you guys could also follow me on Snapchat if you want. But it's mostly pictures. It's like, if you like dogs, that's what it mostly is. And also action figures screaming. There's also lots of action figures screaming. Yeah,
you'd probably just follow Ryan on Twitter for that, because he makes all kinds of videos and posts them. And
yeah, I need to like get a life.
No, you don't. You're perfect.
Oh God! All right,
okay, are we done?
Yes, we are. Thanks everyone for watching us.
Thanks again for the emails, for real.
Yeah, send us more. Keep it up.
It's never enough. Throw emails into the void and we'll read them. Okay, but seriously, thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a good weekend, everyone.